All right. So adjacent angles looks like this. You have an angle. We'll call this ABC. All right. So angle ABC. The vertex is what point? Anybody know? No? It's the vertex. Go ahead, no. So which letter? B. B is our vertex, right? So we, in order to have an adjacent angle, adjacent means that it is sitting next to. It's sitting next to a given angle. It has to share a side and vertex. Okay? So we could do it like this. I'll put a line right like that. And so we would say angle CB, I need to give this one a letter, D, is adjacent to angle ABC because they share this side, CB, and the vertex, B. I could put one over here and call this E. And so if I said angle ABE, is it adjacent to my given ABC? Yes, it is, because it shares the side AB and the vertex B. So that's the concept here. We're talking about all our angles. Today we're going to be looking at are adjacent. They have to be sitting next to it, the given one, and share a side and a vertex. So let's look at it, a couple examples. We'll go back to the beginning here. So what angles are adjacent to J on this one? So our given one is J. What angles are adjacent to J? K is right, and N is adjacent to J. They're the ones sitting next to it. M is not adjacent to J, even though it shares a vertex. It does not share a side, does it? Okay, look at this. We've got to figure out which ones are adjacent. So we have to go through all of these. HOJ, I'm going to highlight this. HOJ, they're saying it is adjacent to HOK. So look at this right here. Are those adjacent? The red and the blue. They share a side, don't they? But are they sitting next to each other? No, one is sitting on the inside of the other, isn't it? Therefore, it's not adjacent. So no, cross that one off. Let's look for, rewrite all this. So now let's look at GOJ, this one, and JOK. Are they adjacent? They share a side, don't they? And are they sitting next to each other? We got this angle and this angle right there. So are they sitting next to each other? Yeah. So those are adjacent. What about GOJ? This one again. And HOK. Are those adjacent? No, they're not. They overlap. They don't even share a side. So that one is not. What about GOH and JOK? Are those adjacent? Do they share a side? They do not. They share a vertex, but they do not share a side. So the only one that was what this one, B, GOJ and JOK. All right. Okay, you're now also going to have adjacent angles that you've got to problem solve with. So they're saying this angle right here is adjacent to this angle, right? Sitting next to each other. They're telling us that the whole thing, PQS, the whole thing is 114 degrees. This one, PQR, is 3x. RQS is 51 degrees. So all we do is set up an equation saying this angle plus the other angle has got to equal the total 114, right? So we set up an equation and then you got to solve. Just like we did yesterday, right? You had to use that concept of angle measures, what you know about them. How do we set them up? Equal to whatever, and then solve. So that wonderful algebra doesn't go anywhere. Okie dokie. Let's look at this one. MON and NOP. Are they adjacent? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What about MOP and NOP? Are they adjacent? No, because NOP is sitting on the inside of MOP. Next one, MON. Is that adjacent to POQ? Are those adjacent? No, they are not. What about MOP and NOQ? Are those adjacent? They are not. They don't share a side. They share a vertex. They overlap. So no. You have another one where you got to solve for x. So these two angles together equal, this one looks weird. What it's saying is this whole thing is 121. This is what we don't know. So the part is 87. Another part is x. You just subtract 87 from the total 121. to figure out what the adjacent x is, okay? There's a tricky one right here, this one. All right, this one gets very tricky because there's a lot going on here. So we're trying to figure out what's adjacent to LON. This one right here. So immediately, I know that I can eliminate anything with the M. The M cannot be adjacent because it's on the inside of my given LON. So I'm going to go over here and cross out anything with M. M. All right, so I've narrowed it down to B, C, and D. Let's look now at those. We have KOP. KOP, is that adjacent? Is KOP adjacent, people? No. It's sitting, there's a gap between them, isn't there? Let's look at LOP. What about LOP, the purple one? Is that adjacent to the red one, LON? No, because LON is sitting on the inside of it, right? And let's look at, we'll use this green color. So we've narrowed it down to this one. Let's check KON, this one. Is the green one adjacent to the red one, the original red one, which was this one, LON? Is the green one adjacent to it? Yes, because they share the side NO, don't they? Sitting next to each other. Whew. Let's look one more, and then we'll try some. I want to show you. We got a couple challenge questions. I don't want you to stress. I want you to try them, but do not stress about it if you get them wrong. Okay, once again, we got to look at what's given. NOQ is this one right here. So it's this over here, is a total of 150.5 degrees. They want us to figure out what is X. So what two angles make up the total 150.5? My X plus my 104.2. So what do I do with the 79.2? Nothing. It's unneeded. So you're also going to be given more information than what you need. Sometimes you got to go through and just pick out, what do you need to solve the problem? And then set up whatever you need to solve. Okay? There we go. We're looking at just adjacent angles today. Quiz Friday.